Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be checking out the BOATLIFT, an untold story of 9/11 resilience. This was a video suggestion. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into it.
I thought I was watching a movie, Towering Inferno at first. And then I looked real close and I noticed it was the World Trade Center. I was compelled because I'm a type of person that can't stand by and watch other people suffer. And to me, they were suffering. They wanted to get off the island. And there was no way for them to get off the island other than the water. And I had noticed when I was watching the television, I saw a lot of, the ferries going up into the slips and taking people off. I said, fine, we could do the same thing. I could take people on my boat, get in there, take them where they have to go. And that's what we did.
This is sad, man. This is really sad.
On the morning of September 11th, when the towers came down, millions of people ran for safety. Hundreds of thousands of them ran south to the water's edge. That's when they realized that Manhattan is indeed an island and that they were trapped.
Thinking about it right now, that is actually true. I've not actually thought about it that way. That Manhattan, which is like the Mecca of New York, I guess, or even the Mecca of trade of the world, if you want to look at it that way, it's an island. So thinking about it now, that is interesting.
They were feeling helpless, and that's the worst feeling in the world. What was a person on the ground going to do? Buildings were down. There were people laying under the rubble of the building. Firemen, civilians. My wife was there. And I turned around, I says, I've got to go do something. Just like that. And she looked at me, she says, what are you going to do, you maniac? I says, I'm going to take the amberjack up into the city and help. She says, but what if they're attacked again? I says, well, then that's something I have to live with. I says, I have to do what I have to do. I says, and nobody can stop me right now. Even if I save one person or I rescue one person, that's one person less that will suffer and die.
They were trying to evacuate Manhattan because nobody knew what was going on. You didn't know if something else was going to happen. It was just, a madness on one side and wanting to help people on the other side.
They were just streaming out of the buildings, and the first mode of transportation they saw was a ferry boat. That's when they knew, this is how I'm getting out of here. They didn't even care where the boat was going.
There wasn't panic in New York in the beginning, just volume. It wasn't until the first building fell that there was panic.
You heard the building go down, but we're in the slip, so we can't see it. That's when we started letting go, and then all of a sudden, engulfed. You couldn't see anything.
People were actually jumping into the river and swimming out of Manhattan. Boats were very nearly running them over.
Wait. These people wanted out of Manhattan no matter any way they could.
Somebody wants you to go over there.
I'm thinking about this now. I don't really know how big Manhattan is. Americans, tell me down in the comments. I don't know. I'm thinking in my head, why are you running out of Manhattan? All you just need to do is run away from the main danger zone, right? So that means if running out of the main danger zone meant that you almost ran out of Manhattan, that means Manhattan is a very small place. That's what it means. That means it's a very, very small place. Because I'm thinking about it in my head. God forbid I were to experience something like that. I'll be running from the danger zone, right? Which is the smart thing to do. And when you run from there, the fact that them just running away from there led them to is it the river or a sea? I don't know what is it in that place. Is it a sea or a river? Just that led them to that place immediately. Shows that Manhattan is a very small place. No wonder real estate is so expensive in that place. No wonder it's so expensive. I used to hear how expensive real estate is in Manhattan. No wonder. So it's like the mecca of trade, the mecca of like almost everything important. It's like the center of the US, kind of, if you want to look at it. But it's very, very small. No wonder it's very expensive.
Over there!
Every mode of transportation out of Manhattan was shut down. All the subways were shut. Tunnels were all closed. They closed the bridges. They closed everything immediately.
Boats, usually an afterthought in most New Yorkers' minds, were for the first time in over a century the only way in or out of Lower Manhattan.
The process that actually had already started. There were some boats that were grabbing people, that people were lined up at the walls.
On the left.
It's just human nature. You see people in distress on the seawall in Manhattan begging you to pick them up. You have to pick them up.
They didn't know what was going on. They seen the building getting hit with these two planes. As far as they was concerned, we were being bombed. I was wondering if they were going to come on the boat, if they had people with bombs, or if they were going to come.
Okay, I'm thinking about it now. Okay, with the buildings coming down and the debris becoming so large and everything, yeah, it would look, and with the noise as well, with the noise that it came with. Okay, I can get it now. So it was almost like a bomb. Okay, so they were basically just trying to escape from there. Okay, I get it. I apologize for not getting it initially. I get it now. So that means they were just in their head with all the panic, everything. They were thinking that, oh, we've been bombed, So they didn't really think of, they were not interested. Just get out of there. Okay, I can get it.
We're a big orange target in the middle of that harbor. My job is to keep the boat safe, my passengers safe, my crew safe.
Everybody was in shock, running around. They didn't want to leave their families. They had loved ones running around the city.
Nobody has it, baby! Nobody has it!
There was one guy ran from the apron and jumped onto the boat. He grabbed onto the metal, climbed up right next to the pilot. So I'm going out there to say something to him. He slides down to the next deck. So the deckhands get him and go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm jumping for my life. So, you couldn't argue with him there.
There was a small boat that was at the lower tip of Manhattan. I thought the boat was going to flip over because so many people were trying to get on.
Wow.
And as I looked behind, they were just 10 deep. And that's kind of what gave us the idea.
We decided that this has to get better organized and we better do it, and that's what we did.
So we decided to make the call on the radio. All available boats. This is the United States Coast Guard aboard the pilot boat in New York. Anyone want to help with the evacuation of Lower Manhattan, report to Governor's Island.
When that call came on the radio, they were coming.
I was uncertain of who was going to respond. About 15, 20 minutes later, there were just boats all across the horizon.
Literally 100 targets converging on the lower part of Manhattan.
When we came out of that dust cloud, tugboats, I'd never seen so many tugboats all at once.
There was just like a fleet of tugboats headed to Manhattan.
If it floated and it could get there, it got there. All different size, shapes, and forms. And they were zooming across this water.
Ferries, private boats, party boats.
I worked on the water for 28 years. I've never seen that many boats come together at one time that fast. One radio call and it just came together just that fast.
Hundreds of boats converged on the city, leaving the sun-bathed harbor behind them. Dead ahead, the unknown.
That was something I won't forget. It was just low, dark, acrid, black smoke. It's like there was a big chimney in Manhattan. When we pulled into
Scary,
Pier
man,
11,
scary.
the dust was unbelievable.
And then out of nowhere, you just kept on seeing people coming.
They looked like zombies coming through the fog, and you knew that those were human beings.
Don't leave us. Please don't leave us here. Take us. At that point, the Coast Guard said, not how many people are you allowed, how many people can you fit?
Come on, guys. Anybody coming? Get your ass over here now. Now. Come on.
Boats started
your ass
hanging.
over here. What
Literally
the-
would take a bed sheet off a bunk and a
Nice.
can of spray paint and
That
paint their
was so
destination
crude.
on.
Some of these people never been in the water, never been on a boat before.
Housewives, workers that do windows. We had executives. And the thing that was the best, everyone helped everyone.
I want you to hold my hand. Come on board. Get inside.
Executives helping the underlings.
I saw 4 businessmen lifting up an old woman with a seeing eye dog, a German Shepherd, and they lifted her up like a surfboard and passed her over the handrails.
When we would carry a load of people over, and there was somebody standing there that seen their husband or wife, you know, that made us feel even better, you know. Well, at least we got 2 back together, you know. Just keep on going, you know.
The guy that works at the ferry, he's a welder. His son was on my boat. He actually came up. He thanked me.
We went back and forth all day long, carrying boatloads, as many as our boat would hold. And it was a lot of people. A lot of people.
You couldn't have planned nothing to happen that fast, that quick.
No training. This was just people doing what they had to do that day.
You forget all about what you're supposed to do, what they teach you in school, and you say, you know what? Morally, this is the right way to go, and deep down, this is what I'm gonna do.
Average people, they stepped up, and when they needed to, they showed me, you know, when the American people need to come together and pull together, they will do it.
I do feel a way honored that I was a part of it.
That was the greatest thing I ever did with my life.
The greatest day.
That statement that man just made about when American people have to pull together, that they will do it. My uncle that is in the United States told me the same thing when I asked him about how divided the US is now and how people basically hate each other for having different views. And he told me, look, all these things is just happening, you know, because, you know, there's really nothing to worry about. But if something really happens that things become very, very bleak, like the country could really collapse, I mean, real collapse, that people will come together. That's what he told me. So I guess that is true.
The greatest thing I ever did with my life.
The greatest day that I've ever seen in all my boating. I mean, my life on the water.
The Great Boat Lift of 9/11 became the largest sea evacuation in history.
Wow!
Larger than the evacuation of Dunkirk in World War II, where 339,000 British and French soldiers were rescued over the course of 9 days.
Whoa!
On 9/11, nearly 500,000 civilians were rescued from Manhattan by boat. It took less than 9 hours.
500K.
I believe somebody has a little hero in them. You gotta look in, and it's in there. It'll come out. It need to be.
I have one theory in life. I never want to say the word I should have. If I do it and I fail, I tried. If I do it and I succeed, better for me.
That is something that I struggle with in my own life, you know. Recently, I've changed a bit, but several years ago, I was more of like, are you sure you should do it? Don't do it. Should you do it? And all that stuff. And there are a lot of things that I did not do that I regret. So now I'm living life in a way that if I feel like doing something and I think it's the right thing to do, and I will do it. Maybe it's not even the right thing to do, totally. Obviously, it's not a terrible thing, but as long as it's something that I feel like I should do, I will do it. I don't want a situation where in a couple of years' time, I'll come and sit down and think about it like, I should have done this, I should have done this. So that's a very true statement.
And I tell my children the same thing. Never go through life saying you should have. If you want to do something, you do it.
Tom Hanks? Oh, really? That is crazy. Wow, that was incredible. That was really, really incredible. Sometimes when push comes to shove, a lot of things that people do in their daily lives, they'll drop it. That's like the point I was trying to make about the whole political division that goes on in the United States. I think, God forbid, if anything related to this were to happen, that things were looking bleak, I don't think anybody would be thinking about all that, politics and all that stuff. So this was really great to see. It was really great to see, and it's a very scary situation, very, very scary. And I'm just picturing it in my head. Those buildings falling sound like bombs. So initially, when I did not understand it, yeah, I'm dumb. I should have understood that. But later I was able to understand what that meant, because those buildings falling, it seems like a bomb, and if you were there, you would try to get the fuck out of there. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. If you did, hit the like button to get this video out to more people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.